Hello, everybody. Reggie Time here, and in just a moment, we're going to be looking at some hands I played in the 25NL Snap pool yesterday. For those who don't know, Triple Eight have done quite a sexy update of their software. There's nothing groundbreaking in there, so don't be flocking there thinking, "Oh wow, can't wait to see all the new stuff." It's just really slick and smooth. I was watching Easty's stream the other day, and he was saying how good it was, and I was like, "Yeah, he's paid to say this." And I wasn't too bothered about downloading it. But then yesterday I just decided, fuck it, we'll start the week on Triple Eight. Let's see what this software's like. And he was right, to be fair to him. I mean, all shilling aside, which is his paid job, so I'm never going to criticise someone for doing the job they're paid to do. But wow, it's just really nice. It's really smooth. It's like really slick. It's not as clunky as it was. There's a few bugs. I've known tables freeze and then just like you have to close them and restart. They'll get right at fixing them eventually. Triple Eight aren't the quickest at bug fixing, to be honest. There's been bugs on there for years on the reg tables that are still bugs, but yeah, it's good. If you haven't played there for a while, because you didn't like the software previously, then I'd recommend taking another look. Are the rewards the best in class? No, not close. There's not always really good traffic, but in terms of just a player experience, it was really nice. I enjoyed it a lot. So that's where we're looking at today. We haven't got too many hands to look at today. And I'll explain why at the end, but there is going to be like an end of month, like quick view of results and what I think I've done differently this month that's led to the results that I've had. So if you're remotely interested, stick around for that, because what I have done this month is, well, basically since speaking to my friend Johnny at the end of January, where he gave me a few mass data pointers to get started. I've been doing, I wouldn't say loads, but more study on mass data for spots that come up. As and when they come up, I'm like, oh, that's a bit of a weird spot. So it's caused me to go back into the mass data stuff and look. And slowly but surely, I've been significantly upgrading my population reads and my responses to population, and it's gone really well. Spoiler alert, it's going to be a nice sexy graph at the end of this. And whilst admittedly there's been some run good in there, there's just been a lot of like more production of A game, less B game, and a significantly upgraded C game. And all those things just lead to you having good months, which we've had. But for now, we'll get into the hands. I don't think there's going to be too many like mind bending spots in this, because yesterday was a very smooth day. It went well, but it's all we've got to look at. So yeah, if there are any spots, and I don't think there's going to be many this month, to be honest with you, where you're like, okay, Reg, this is my opinion on this hand. Please do say at what time in the video the hand exists, so I can go back and check and respond to your comment. Don't do as Ryan did and as someone else did. Oh, Reg, it's 11:30 and this. Yeah, it was amusing the first time I saw it. Less amusing the second and third time. I mean, you do it. You do you if you want to do it, but just be aware that the joke's on you, not on me. Anyways, let's get stuck in. We're opening pocket sevens here in the under the gun position. We pick up a call, and we get a player. This who now shouldn't be light blue, should be green based on those stats. Putting the very small squeeze in. Call, fold. I mean, there's 25 big blinds in here. I mean, how often do we get folds pre if we just fucking rip sevens? Probably not very often, this heavily multi-way. I mean, I guess it's just a spot where you have to just click the call button, try and flop a seven. But there's a lot of fucking, not dead money out there, but capped range, capped range, capped range. There's only really this guy to worry about. I mean, the worry would be if we did rip it here, that someone just decided to flick it in with pocket nines and then we're fucked. But I'm not going to do this. In game, there's no way I'm finding a rip here. But I actually think there's some merit to it in practice, just because like there's 25 blinds in the pot. But no, obviously I'm not going to do that. Call. So everyone calls. We flop a set. What a fucking surprise. Check. Now, do we start donking here? It's very, very, very multi-way. It's quite likely to check through. Therefore, we don't get to like continue building a pot. We don't get to fold out. Well, we don't get to fold out anything that's got equity anyway. Anything that's a straight draw here or what have you isn't folding. We don't need to fold out high cards because the draw is dead. But do we just start betting here because we want to start like continue to build the pot, or is the fact that the pot's already basically SPR 2 point something? Does that not matter? We're obviously going to check his multi-way, but I think considering building some leads in here is probably going to be just fine. Anyway, this guy just bets, but he's very big in the context of this pot. It's a multi-way 3-bet pot, and he's bet huge. This guy just isn't folding. Fold, call. Fuck knows what this is. But I remember thinking at the time, well, you know, if you fucked red, you fucked. If it's set up a set, which it could easily be, this could easily be a set that's trapping. Jack 9, is it in there from the small blind? Probably not. 6-9, almost certainly not. Over pairs seems unlikely. We're just like, fucking, this is weird. But such when it's just all-in's our only play now. But I am very, very concerned that this dude just has a like set up a set. But if he does, he does. It's just time to lose a stack. We go all in. He goes all in. And then we get 2 folds, which I was really, yeah, fine. I get, right? We only have nuts when we do this. But when 2 players have committed this many chips, I just presumed we were getting action. I was wrong. Good folds by both of them. And we made a boat, and this guy just had King Jack off suit. Ace King suited. We open. Call from. I've started tagging these players green. You'll see later in the video. There's players with 17 VPIPs tag green, which is my VPIP per fish. Because fuck them, they're not good. I mean, why this guy's got green, I'm not sure. Maybe he was tagged and his stats have changed. Because this doesn't look green. I mean, his 3-bet stats embarrassing, but he doesn't look like a green tag, to be honest. Looks more like an orange tag, maybe. Anyways, we open 2 calls. Flop everything whilst flopping nothing. Check. We've got 2. We've got this absolute shit stain in the big blind. I mean, anyone who plays this pool regularly will be very familiar with this player. I mean, the man's just a shambles. He used to play 50 back in the day, and he used to be half decent. I mean, what's happened to him? I just don't know. I mean, back literally 10 years or more ago when I was playing 50 Snap, this guy was in there, and he was decent. He was a decent winning player, and now he's dicking around 7 days a week, playing 14, 11 in 25, and it's fucking, I don't know. Just fuck off, mate. Anyways, we got to check back because against 2 tight regs here, we're gonna, because we got decent pot equity, we could just bet here. If we bet, say, 70% pot, we need combined 40% folds from these 2. We're not getting that, I don't think, between them. So I elect to just check back. Turn was a 10. Check. Now Denshark leads for this. Denshark's turn probe is 42%. Very likely a product of him not 3-betting very often. So therefore getting to the flop with like hands that it theoretically shouldn't can't do anything but call here. Raising would be a massive punt. Folding would be ridiculous. So we do call. And then this guy raises, basically saying, I assume I've got 8-9 or a set. basically that's his entire range here, I would imagine. Check raises 2 players on this board. He's saying, yep, I've got 8-9 and I was trapping, or I've got a set and I was trapping, or I've just turned a set. All of these things are entirely possible because the guy's a fucking stain who 3-bets 3%. I think again here we're just in rough shape. We've got like 9 outs, 20%. We need 31% equity to call, so we're not getting the right price to call. But if we were to river a flush against a straight, we're just going to get all the money. Against a set, probably going to get all the money, depending on what like rank the flush card is. This is close. We could probably just think about folding, but I didn't, of course. And then we break the river, and he does this, which made me think about turning my hand into a bluff, because now I think he's got a set, not a straight. So I did consider bluffing here. Now that there's a 4-liner out there, just try and make the guy fold like any of the flop sets. I don't know what anyone thinks about that. We can't call, obviously, but when he like check raises turn and then like downsize his river to less than half pot, just isn't, in my opinion, this isn't a straight. A straight doesn't do this. So this is value that's worse than a straight. And can we get folds against that? I ultimately decided no, just not to try and bluff this guy because I don't trust him to fold a set. But I think maybe, we have like a chunk of 8x there, I imagine, for straights. I don't know, maybe I missed a bluff there. Maybe I missed a bluff. King 9 suited. Same bluff in last hand. Opening. We're going with a 3-bet with this hand. This guy's stats must have changed quite significantly over the course of the day, because I wouldn't normally 3-bet King 9 against someone only opening 30% from the button. This wouldn't be in my 3-bet range. It would be against some players, but not against somebody only opening 30%. So I guess my sample was different on this guy at the time of the hand. He does call. We flop ourselves not very much. I think probably just checking this board nearly all of the time, which is what we do. He bets like 1/3 pot. Not in love with the spot in the slightest. This guy's flop bet stat. I know it's not relevant because it's the 3-bet pot, but in general, 2 out of 4. Not really much use. What's his fold versus 3-bet? Button versus... fold to 3-bet from the button, not from 1. So we haven't got a big enough sample to make any exploits. I guess just call, see one more, but probably resign to the fact we're losing this hand more often than not. Turn 10, check. He now sizes up. Easy fold. And move along. Pocket 9s here. Get a load of this prick, by the way. Belarusian short stacker playing 15/14, which is fuck off, mate. 74% fold to 3-bet, 78% fold to 4-bet. I mean, really? What the actual fuck? And then he 4x his buttons. This guy is something else. And I suspect he gets smashed in the pool. But 15/14, 74%. So he's opening only 14% of the hands in general, but he's still finding the fold to the 3-bet 74%. And when he 3-bets, he's finding the fold to the 4-bet 78%. Guess who had fun 4-bet ramming all kinds of shit? And there was all kinds of shit in there. I seem to remember 4-bet ramming Queen 4 suited against him. And him tank folding. And that was about the 4th time I'd done it. He just didn't give a fuck. Anyways, pocket 9s. Call from Big Blind here, who looks like some kind of reg. Flopping a set, of course. Check. Sizing here. Don't really know, to be honest with you. Don't think we get to overbet, because there's a straight possible. But I do think we get to big bet. So that's what I think I'd go with. Oh, we're a third. Well done, Reg. Get called. Turn 3. Check. I think straights will sometimes check raise flop versus small. Well, not sometimes, quite often probably. When you start getting some money in this pot, because we've got a set. So like a big bet here. Wow. This is me pressing 2E. I love my 2E button. So we just 2E'd the turn, because why the fuck not? Villain calls. So now we just get to be all in on the river. Which I did. And this guy didn't take too long to call. With that. And I was like, okay. That is someone who, A, doesn't understand that I'm a fucking nit, generally speaking. And B, is just like, I mean, he's putting me on hearts, isn't he? He's just putting me on hearts, like ace, queen, hearts, ace, jack, hearts, etc., etc. I mean, fair play, it's a brave call, but it's got to be massively losing versus population, like massively losing versus population, like hemorrhaging money, like literally enormous blunder. But we'll take it. Opening the ace jack suited, getting 3-bet by someone on the face of it. Looks like a reasonable reg, to be fair. What's this guy's response to 4-bet? Fold versus 4-bet is pretty high, 70%. Maybe we can just start 4-betting this now. As a bluff, of course, but like a bluff with potential. I didn't, but maybe we should. This is 70% 4-bet. I think probably 4-betting this is the bluff's probably fine. Anyways, we didn't. We get the king 4-4 flop. Check. Do bet small. Completely standard. I go with a check raise here. I'm not sure I like this. What do we know about this, guys? This might be a reaction to someone who I think overdoes a c-betting. Yeah, it's 17 of 19 c-bets in 3-bet pots. And the board is just going to range bet with, with range, basically. Maybe this is out of line by me. Maybe this is out of line. I mean, we just had the best hand a lot. The guy doesn't barrel very often. How often does he barrel turns in 3-bet pots? I've not done my homework here. Because he doesn't barrel a turn very often. This is bad by me. This is pretty bad. We could just call this flop c-bet. He's going to like under barrel a turn. So we're probably going to get to realise this is just not good. This is me going for an exploit on one start. On this guy way over c-bets in 3-bet pots. And he's gone small. So we know that people over c-bet this spot and then they overfold to raise. But we don't just use a hand this strong to make this play. It'd be far better making this play with just some random nonsense. Well, not that I'd have much random nonsense, but I would have maybe some hands, like Queen Jack suited maybe. I would sometimes have stuff like that, maybe like with backdoor clubs. Maybe something like that would be better to do this with than this hand in particular. Why the fuck is somebody phoning me at 9:45? Very irritating. Okay, 1 second. There was somebody confirming some training I had tomorrow. I've lost my train of thought now, sadly. But yeah, I think basically this is a big overplay by me. There's other hands I can do this with. And there's other ways we can try and exploit this guy. I think if I had this hand back again, I would just call here. I'd expect turn to go check quite a high frequency. And then maybe run out dependent, try and bluff the river. But yeah, I don't like this one. But it made it to the video, and we don't always make players we're proud of. Here we've opened 5s against Bubble Boy. Now I watch Eastie's stream a fair bit, and he calls this guy a fucking stain, and he is. I mean, at 18-15, he is a fucking stain. But that said, he does have some interesting stats. Like 3-bet, for example, blind versus blind. 21% of the time he 3-bets blind versus blind. and then he folds versus the 4-bet from when he 3-bets from the big blind. He folds versus 4-bet 62%. Not necessarily all blind versus blind spots, but he overall 4-bet folds 62% when he does 3-bet from the big blind versus all positions. So he has some even though he's a stain like this, his 3-bets from the big blind. Well, his 3-bets from the blinds in general are pretty fucking aggro. His cut-off 3-bet. So his small blind versus cut-off's pretty aggro. So basically, this guy is stain. Then from the blinds, he's probably not far off meeting frequency. He's just slightly overdoing it. So he's not a total stain. He's just a stain most of the time. I think it's quite interesting. Anyways, he just 3-bet here, and I was tempted to just 4-bet rip this. I don't know what anyone thinks. Against somebody who, over like a reasonable sample, is finding the 3-bet from the big blind 21% of the time. I mean, what do you think about the rip here? Anyways, I didn't. I just called. We check. He checks back. Turn 8. We check. He now bets half pot. I mean, I don't think this is a bluff very often. We do have some equity if we are behind. This can easily be an overpair, just checking back the flop on this board. Let's now go for value on what looks like a safe turn. We did call, and I planned on calling down this river, just check calling down on whatever. Then he used this size, and I didn't want to call down anymore. I'd rather he'd bet bigger, to be honest. But I don't know. I ended up folding here because I think generally this spot's overbluffed. But this guy's like pre-flop range is so fucking wide that he's got a lot of bluffs to pick from. I think maybe I should just call here against this guy. I ended up folding, and I wasn't happy about it because I did want to call. But I did end up folding, and I think they're probably against that guy. I mean, what price do we know? 28%. Do I think many people are bluffing 28% of the time in this spot? No, I don't, to be honest. Not just pure bluffing anyway. But a guy who's 3-betting 21% from the big blind, maybe he just gets here with too much air. Yeah, maybe he does. Anyways, we folded. On to the next one. Ace, king, limp, ISO, call, back raise. Do I really want to pile 83 bigs in with ace king versus a limp back raise? I don't think so. I really, really don't think so. I mean, it's easiest thing in the world to say, oh, fuck you, I'm all in, you're a fucking whale. But he's 62/3 and he's limp raised. Probably he's got a good hand. I think, like, it's so easy. Most people watching this, or a lot of people in game, would just be like, I'm all in, mate. It's ace king in it. LOL, ace king, let's go. But do you want to get 84 bigs in with ace king? I mean, you might. I don't. So I did just call. Flop ourselves a gut shot. Villain bets half pot. It's distinctly uncomfortable. Don't think we can fold 2 overs in a gut shot, but this guy's just looking like he's got pocket aces. We called. Turn with another jack. He's all in. And I think we just have a really easy fold at this point. It's disappointing. We've put like however many, like 30 bigs in with ace king and not got to see a river. Which is bad for red line, etc. But I just think versus this player, he's given us enough clues. He's limp raised, he's bet the flop, he's jammed the turn. How many more clues do we need that the guy's just got a strong range? So we did just fold. Pocket aces, open. Call from the button, from a reg. And then, oh, this is going to be boring, all in, whatever. Guy just had ace 10 off. Queen. Open from a German player playing 75-14. He's having a lovely time. 3-bet. Call. Just big bets here, I think. Oh, hang on, he's got 8 bigs left. Why has this hand made it in? Sorry, this must be a misclick. Don't know why this hand's made it in. The guy's got fucking 8 big blinds. Boring. Right, doesn't matter. Move along. Ace 10 off. Open. Call from me. Again, this is the sort of player that these players used to have my orange tag. Excuse me. But he's just a fish, you know. He's just a fucking fish. He's just a very, very tight fish. This would have been orange in the past, which is my don't pay this fucker off. But they've got to be tagged for what they are. Another one up here, 15/8. Fuck off. You're just fish. You get in the fucking fish tag, and that's that. Then we've got Dave Rave here, who's quite an interesting player. But yeah, there's loads and loads. There's a player on this site we might not see him today, and I mean, he's needled me plenty of times at the Sky table, so fuck him. A player called Rancid, who pops up in Easty's stream, and I'm not sure. I mean, Easty must know what fucking stain he is, but he's like, so this guy can just have anything here. He's like that when he's being aggressive, and like, really, have you not seen his fucking stats? He's a filthy fucking stain, and it makes me sick to my stomach. The amount of times I've paid him off on Sky, like just thinking this guy's a fucking reg, you know, he's gonna have some bluffs here, etc., or his ranges. What a fucking state. We might not get to see him today in this video, but he's got the green tag now. These people are just fish, and they deserve to be tagged as such. Anyways, we've opened the Ace 10. We've been called in 2 spots. Check. I think against tight fish and loose fish, just c-bet pretty big. Dave calls. Check. I think just bet big again against Dave. Call. River Queen. Check. I know I'm not going to bet this river, but I think probably should. Problem is, it's an overcard now to the 10. So if we want to bet this river, we probably we don't want to reopen the betting for small here. That's what we don't want to do. And I haven't got enough confidence in my hand to reopen for like 70%, which would be my size of choice here. And I think we just should. The problem is, I think like Dave's going to reach this river with a lot of hands that just can't call, like wheel draws, straight draws, flush draws, etc. I mean, could we just bet small here and fuck theory? Just bet like reopen for like 1/3, quarter pot. Just bet like 10 bigs, 12 bigs, and just, you know, not worry about basically playing our range face up or our hand face up. Yeah, I actually think, even though theoretically it's fucking rubbish, I actually think reopening for like quarter pot here against Dave and just getting called by all these like pocket fours, maybe even ace high, etc. Yeah, I don't like my check back here. The reason I've checked back is because I didn't think my hand was worth 70% on the Queen River. Yeah, just reopen for small ridge. Just get the extra pay. Just get paid a little bit extra. We would not have been paid in that instance. So that isn't me saying, "Look at me, what a clever check back I've made," because I didn't remember losing this fucking hand. I did not remember losing it. I thought I won this hand. This is me wondering if we can reopen, and I think we should, and I think we should be small. And yeah, this time he'd have just ripped it in our face, and that'd have been sad. But I think they just reopen for small against someone this bad, and just assume they're not going to turn pocket fours into a bluff. Instead, they're just going to like call too wide. Ace jack off. Open. 3-bet. Call. Ace high flop. Check. Bet small. Call. Turn deuce. Check. Bet again, I guess. Is this guy going to bluff rivers? He's got 28% bet river frequency. He's bet the river twice and been called, and both times he's had it. Too small a sample size. But like checking back to try and do some bluffs from this guy doesn't seem like a good idea. But sometimes when I'm autopiloting, I will check this back to like maybe induce some bluffs or maybe induce some like lighter river calls when we go bet check bet. I'd prefer to see myself bet, but we don't. I'm not surprised. King river, this guy bets, and now we just have a call. But we could just have bet more than this on the turn and check back river on this. We could have like bet turn here for like 70% or maybe even 50%, and then just check back the river. I don't like this. We do call. And he had a hand that was clearly never folding turn. So we did save a little bit of money with our line. But again, I think not betting that turn's a mistake from me. Queen queer, someone right, boring. Whatever. Jack 3, just ramming it in my face when I've got queens. This one's quite interesting. So this guy opened. Remember this one? Here's Rancid. Look. There he is. There's a little filthy fucking stain. Used to needle me in the chat box for being a bit of a nit. And then this. It's like me pointing at someone in a fucking crowd and calling him a fat cunt. Fuck off. Fucking used to needle me for being a fucking nit. Used to like, oh, yeah. And now we get to see that. We get to see behind the mask. The curtain falls. And Rancid is 17-13. Rancid opens fucking these percentages by position. Rancid does this. 15% cut off open. 21% button open. 24% small blind open. And you needled me. Fuck me. Anyways, that's the end of that. Anyway, Rancid folds, unsurprisingly. We 3-bet button against Fat and Curious, which could be me, in many spots in this game. And then this guy, was this the same guy from the last time? I didn't check last night. It is. This is why we make this call here. This is the guy here, this Vojtech Cubic. He's in this hand too. So last time we saw him just open, rip the Jack 3 off or whatever it was. So we've 3-bet here. He's just all in. I mean, how can we ever fold this? The guy just literally ripped Jack 3 off like the previous hand, and this happened like within like a minute or so of the previous hand too. I mean, we're just never folding this hand. Normally I would turbo fold this. 0% chance we can fold versus this dude. And we probably didn't need to get there, but we got there anyway. We did need to get there. This is completely standard, in my opinion, against somebody who just 50 seconds to a minute earlier had open ripped Jack 3 under the gun or whatever it was. Yeah, we sucked out. Still think my play was fine. Pocket aces. Open, call, all in, right, boring. 9-4 suited. Pocket jacks versus. I think this player is relatively decent. Like relative to Pool, he'd be one of the better regs. Still, he's like the rest of he's got some imperfections, but relative to Pool, he's definitely one of the better regs. One of the sort of regs who plays closer to theory with his ranges. Small blind's a bit low, but could be sample size related. He just has generally pretty good numbers compared to population. We still 3-bet the jacks. Big blind here, I think I'd probably flat quite often. But small blind, we're going to 3-bet. Whiskey Biz, another like pretty decent reg. Again, his steel stats are a bit low, what have you. But again, one of the better regs in the pool. He calls, which is unsurprising. Not an ideal flop. Probably range bet from us, though. Once this guy's full to C-bet in 3-bet pot. 3 from 15. Maybe this guy isn't the guy to. I mean, this is pretty wild in terms of like how often he's just not folding versus 3-bets. maybe we can check this against this guy, and then I'd really like to start like float betting 3-bet pot, because we've got it on the flop here. This is the float bet on flop in general. I'd like this in 3-bet pots. Someone could tell me how to do that. But given that overall his float bet percentage is high and his fold to c-bet low, I think probably just check now. See what we do. He checks back, so he doesn't bet. Which makes me think jacks are probably the best hand. Turn 8. Don't think there's any reason to start betting here. Maybe there is. Maybe we can just block. I did go with check though. Now he bets like pretty big. 2/3 pot or so. Nothing to do but call. River deuce. We check. Please do not fold to this, Reg. We can't fold to this. Oh, I've got a horrible feeling I'm going to fold to this, and we just can't. We just cannot fold to this bet. But I've got a feeling I'm going to. Yeah, this would be bad. This would be pretty shitty autopilot from me if we fold here. That's annoying. This cannot be a fold. Fine, when he's choosing this side, he's going to have loads and loads of value. The smaller you bet, the more value combinations you need, etc., etc., etc. We can't fold to that. I'm annoyed at that one. That one's annoyed me, because that is an overfold I probably shouldn't be making against this player. 9-10 suited. 3-bet by German Whale. Call. This is typically, versus this size, versus 4x, this is going to be a fold, but not against this player. We call flop the world. Well, not the world, flop a flush draw. Check. He bets 2/3 pot. Nothing to do other than call. I think trying to like bluff, semi-bluff raise versus this player would be punting. Turned a gut shot. Check. Bet again. Bet 2/3 pot again. This is similar to a hand I discussed in Discord the other day. Like, we just don't need very much fold equity here. In fact, let's fucking do some fucking maths, shall we? Let's just fucking do some maths. Where we are? We want this one here. Oh, no internet, because I turned it off earlier. Don't worry, we'll get there. Now we have internet. So here I'm looking at exploitative pokers. You can't quite see, but it's exploitative pokers fold equity calculator. So it's quite neat, this. It just, you put all the information in. It tells you how often you need to get folds. So current pot size is 73 big blinds. Amount I have to call is 29 big blinds. My shove amount is 89 big blinds. Now, assuming I'm doing this right, and my equity when called, assuming that all outs are live, we're going to give ourselves the full 12 outs here. So equity when called, 12 outs, 12 times 2 is 24 plus a little bit. Say we've got 25% here. We need 31% fold equity here to jam. Assuming I've done that calculation right, and I'm pretty sure I have. So we need 31. So does this guy fold 31% of the time? Answers in the chat below, please. Do you think if we jam, this is a 75-40, so it's a fucking whale, and he's 3-bet pre and double barrel 2/3 pot. Do we think he is folding here to a jam more than 31? Allowing for rake, we probably need like 34% fold equity, allowing for rake, something like that maybe, to break even. So do we think he folds 34% to make this like a break-even play? If we think he does, or if we think he folds more than 34%, then jamming is going to be a play that's going to make money. If we don't think he folds, then we just can't fold. We just can't call. Sorry, we just can't jam. Sorry, and we have to raise. Um, so like this is something I've been doing a lot using this, uh, just to try and get a better idea of how much fold equity you need in certain spots to help me calculate whether I think raising or betting is that higher EV than calling or checking. And I don't know in this spot. I think it's really, really close. I suspect he doesn't fold. I suspect we don't have enough fold equity here. Against some players we might. Against this player, I suspect probably not. I elected just a calling game, and then just donk if we got there, give up when we don't. We got there in the best possible way, and I decided just to rip. And sadly, the guy turbo folded, so we did have the fold equity on the turn, you would imagine, because it looks like he was bluffing. He folded so quickly. It's not like he had a decision with a king or something. He was just bluffing, it seems, which is unfortunate, because had I known that, I would have checked the river. But never mind. And that is the last hand, but it's not the end of the video. Yesterday was a very, very smooth session on Triple Eight. New, nice, smooth software. That was the session. We'll get this now back to size. This was the session. We look at the graph. And that was a red light. It was just such a fucking sweet. Well, not the session, sorry, it was the day. It was just such a sweet fucking day. Couldn't have gone better. Yeah, I ran pretty fucking pure. Definitely ran above EV. By a significant, by 3 binds above EV. But fuck that. We had like 8 and a bit buying day. It was fucking delightful. Now on to the month results. It's probably going to be my last video of the month. These are our results for the month across all sites. And I fucking crushed it, to be honest. Nearly 1,000 in wins at the tables. Just under 1,000, but we've got 2 days to try and put that right. This obviously can go down, but very nearly 1,000 at the tables. Then with rate back, getting on for close to 1,300. For someone who plays 25 and L, for someone who's fucking 50 playing 25 and L and churning out 60,000 hands, that's really fucking good. I'm quite often like not prone to putting myself down, but harsh on myself. I'm giving myself a huge pat on the back here. This has been a phenomenal month for me in terms of like volume, in terms of like the study I've put in, working on my game, just thinking about things in a different way to what I did. I've made so many changes to my game. It'd probably just be a video all in itself. But frankly, because I know a lot of people who play my games watch my videos, I genuinely don't want to give too much away about how much I've changed in my game, because we're playing against like Rancid probably watches this video. I don't want to show. I don't want him to see how much I've changed. He thinks he's got exploits on me. Good for him. And he probably does have some. But just giving it away, and that's when I was playing on Party, there was people chatting to me at the table. There's people commenting on the videos. My opponents watch these videos. So they have to figure stuff out for themselves. I'm not just going to give it away. But I've made so many fucking changes. And it's just going really well. Now, my A game is now better than it's ever been. My B game is really good and wins. So my A game, in my opinion, in every pool I play in, when I'm playing my A game, it puts me in the top, like, 5% of the regs in the pool, maybe even more than that. That might sound arrogant. People who know me might be like, fuck off, Reg, you're talking shit. I'm not talking shit. When I'm playing my A game versus everyone else's A game, I genuinely think I'm top 5% in any 25-0 pool you put me in. When I play my B game, I'm still probably like top 30%. Which is probably enough to make money, but not a lot. And playing my C game, it's not great, but my C game is like way, way better than it was. My sim game now is effectively just turtle mode. I miss bluffs. I be a little bit stationary in spots where I shouldn't be stationing, but it's nothing like as bad as it was. So yeah, I'm just really, really happy. And there's more to come. There's more improvement to come. I'm not even close to through studying different spots I want to study. What happens is I'll find some spots happening in games. I'm like, I'm really not sure about this. And then I'll go and like look at the mass data stuff, see what population is doing in general, and figure out some default lines for that spot. And then hopefully, when we have enough sample on players, I can then have like player specific lines. I really enjoy my poker at the moment. Really enjoying the rewards of the effort that I put in. And yeah, this is a good reward. It's a good reward for a month of like solid hard work, and I'm really pleased about it. Um, so yeah, I guess that's it. It's the end of the month. Bit of a not a gloat at the end, just like praise for a job well done. If you're going to be harsh on yourself, which I am, then with a job well done, you've got to give yourself a pat on the back, and I'm giving myself a pat on the back because this month has been exceptional. So yeah, but out of here now, I'm off to grind some more Triple Eight 25 now if it's running. And yeah, I'll catch you guys sometime in March because it's very unlikely another video comes out this week. Take care, everybody, and bye bye for now.